Hello friends, in this video we are going to be looking at how we can change background professionally in Adobe Photoshop. This is Twisted Creative. Alaribe Mane is my name. If it's your first time on this channel, please do me a favor. Do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Not just hitting that subscribe button, also ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the next video. Without wasting much time, let's get into it. This is the image we are using and this is the background. So we are going to drag the background and drop it on the image. Let's drag to expand. So we have to use our Ctrl J to duplicate the image. Then we have to drag this one to the top, and we are going to leave this one for before and after. We are not going to move this image without moving this guy. Let's rename this to be cutout. Select the cutout, go to selection tools, you can right click to choose any of your favorite selection tools. I'm making use of magic wand, and we're just going to go direct to hit the select subject. Okay, let's zoom in and make some corrections. Okay, let's look at the lasso tool, how we can make use of our lasso tool. If you right click, you notice that we have lasso tool here, we have polygonal lasso tool, then we have magnetic lasso tool. Then we have to use this polygonal lasso tool depending on you and what you'll be able to use. This first box here is that you can start up a selection and you finish it. Then if you are not satisfied, you can add to your selection. If you are not still satisfied, you can minus from your selection. So this is the minus and this is plus, this is normal. My default selection is always based on minus. I enjoy using minus because I can add holding my shift. I can take it to add holding my shift down. So if I hold my shift down, you notice that it is switching. So I will leave it in subtract so that I can add by holding my shift down. We are going to be looking at the tiny hair and create space for them. We are going to be fast forwarding the selection because of time. We are going to start by holding our shift down. You notice we have plus mark there. We have to use it to add the tiny hair to selection. Then we are going to be fast forwarding it so as to save time. We have the hair selected. If you take a look at this area, you notice that we have some area not selected, that we have to remove this from selection. So we have to leave it at minus and select. Add this area to selection. So we have to remove with minus. So we have to remove here with minus also. Then we have to add this little area with plus. Then we use minus to remove this angle here. Hold our shift down to add. Hold our shift down, add. Okay, we are done with the selection now. We are going to right click and select inverse. Then we right click again and feather with 2. Then hit OK. So we are going to push our delete 3 times. After selection like this, you select inverse. The more you continue pushing your delete, the more you have the fringes removed. I'm going to push like 3 times or 4 times. 1, 2, 3. So this is what we have. Let's use our Ctrl D to deselect to see if there is fringes on it. As you can see, it's free of fringes. So we have to take our lasso tool and select the tiny hair area. So we have to select it like this. We are going to be wiping the white background with background eraser tool. That's why we need to make this selection, so that we are not going to wipe and use it to affect other areas. So we have to make sure our selection is going to include anywhere the white background is showing underneath. So we have this place, this area like this, the white background is showing here, so we have to include it to our selection. Then let's close it up here and bring it back to this area. It's okay this way. Then let's secure it, and we have the tiny hair selected. Then we have to right click and feather with, you can use tool for feathering. Go to your eraser tool. If you right click here, you see eraser tool, background eraser tool, then magic eraser tool. Then we are going to be using background eraser tool. So with the background eraser tool selected, you make sure your hardness of brush should be at 0, which is soft round brush. If you check here, we notice we have 3 boxes with eyedroppers on them. We are going to use the middle box. Then for the limits, we are going to be using discontiguous. Then for tolerance, we can use between 60 and 80 depending on your image and the size of your image. Okay, let's go with this 80 and see how it's going to look. So if you take a look, you will see the plus mark in the middle of the circle. So that plus mark represents your target. Whatever color you have that plus mark on will be what you are erasing. So we are going to use it to target this white background now, so as to erase the white background. So we are going to start by click and hold, and we use it to drag around the hair. So because of the selection, you will not see it go off. You will not see it go off the selection. So inside the selection, so we have it like this. You can just rub as much as you can, then you can let go. Then use our Control D to deselect. Let's zoom in and check if it is okay. Let's unlock this layer so as we'll be able to move these images together, because I want them to be in the same position. We are going to select the cutout layer and the background image. As both of them is selected, now we can move to the position we want it to be. Okay, then we can expand both of them also. Let's take the background and increase the background so that we have enough ground for the image. We are going to select the cutout layer, then go to adjustment layer and choose brightness and contrast. So we are working on the background and want the background to be a little bit dark. So let's reduce the brightness of the background and add little contrast to shine it, sparkle it up, shine it up. We are going to drag this adjustment layer down so that it's not going to be affecting the image. It's going to be for the background. Don't want it to affect this area that much, because it's like the flashlight that is used to shoot this image is just within. It's a controlled light. It's like a controlled light. So, okay, let's just assume that the light will be within there. Okay, let's go to the layer mask and remove this part from the dark areas. So have to take this area and right click and feather with 100, let's say 200, and hit OK. Then we are going to be pushing delete to delete part of the layer mask here, like so. Let's use Control D to deselect. Then look at what we have. So if you take a look at the image, now you notice that the more you go inside, the lesser light you get. We are not going to be using natural shadow now. We are going to be painting in shadows. So we are going to pick our brush tool. Then we're going to change our foreground color to whichever color that we believe is the color of the shadows. So let's see if we can look for something that is going to match the shadow here. Look at what we have. This one is just like strong black. If we don't want it to be that strong black, we can take it to close to red, and we'll go with that. Then hit OK. So we have to select the background, then click on the plus mark to create empty layer. Then we don't need this here. Zoom in properly. Let me remove it like this. Feather with 2. Hit OK. Then select the cutout image and delete. Take our brush tool again. Make sure the foreground color is black. Then reduce the brush size. You can be at 100%, no problem. Let's say between 80 and 100. Then make sure the empty layer is selected before we put in the shadow. Then we'll drag under, very tiny. Make sure you are zoomed in. Look at what we did there. It's very small. We have to do the same thing to this guy too. Then we'll go to the next leg, then do the same thing to this guy. Then let's go to the other leg. The other leg is not that visible. Then let's take our brush tool again, then drag on this, and I think it's okay. As you can see, it's lifted up, so we can take it from here like this, then come like this, then do it this way. So as you can see, we are done with that. Then go to the bottom of the heel and do the same thing. So this other one is still a kind of lifted up. It's a kind of lifted up also, so we can take it like this. Let's draw from here, and let's draw from here and go like this. From here like this, then go like this, then end it up here. Very tiny, very tiny. Look at it, look at what we got here. Take it this way and this way. Let's disable this, so you can see all what we've painted. Look at them. So that is just it. So let's enable it back and let's rename it as base shadow. Okay, let's say base shadow. So we have to select this base shadow so that it's going to be on top. Then we'll go to the empty layer and click again. Then make sure our brush tool is selected. Then the foreground color should be black, and we have to increase or reduce the brush size. Then we have to paint in under the heel here. Reduce the brush size and paint from here and drop it here. We can expand it to the front of the shoe. From here we can expand to the front, so we have it like this. Let's go to the other one and do the same thing. We can take it from, let's take it that the heel is from here, then expand to the front side, then the heel is from here and expand to the front side also. Let's add that of the seat because they are going to be looking alike and they can use the same opacity or the same feel. Increase our brush and take it like this a bit, then take this guy like this a bit, then do the same thing to this other leg like so, then this one also. Then we can just bring them together like this, showing this line. Then we can bring it from here to join to this stuff, then bring it from here to join to this stuff. With this space created here, let's assume that these areas are blocked out. Then from here we notice that this place is blocked out. Then let's do it this way. Then taking a look at this area, we can reduce the brush and give a tiny line to show this cross here. So as you can see, it's just artistical. Okay, let's go to the fill and reduce the fill. Like as you can see, we are reducing the fill of the shadow. You can always come back to adjust the shadow if you take a look at the image from afar. So let's take it like this first and see how it's going to look. Now we are almost done with the shadow. Like we can come back and edit it. We need to rename the shadow to main shadow. We are going to be adding light to this image because if you take a look at the image, it is surrounded by light. So how can we go about adding light to this image, and which kind of light are we going to add? If you take a look at the light that is surrounding this image, you notice that we have orange color light. So we are going to be adding orange color light. So how can we add that light? So we are going to select the cutout image and go to our adjustment layer and choose solid color. Then we are just going to choose any color here. We can adjust it later. Let's take this orange color and take the bright area of the orange color and hit OK. Then we are going to, let's go to blend mode and choose linear or vivid light. Let's say vivid light should be okay. Then we'll click on the layer mask and use our Ctrl I to invert the layer mask. Hold our Alt and hover around between this image and between the image and the adjustment layer. Immediately you see this arrow pointing down with that box there. You click, then you notice that we have connected it to the image. Anything that we are going to be doing with this adjustment layer is just going to be for the image alone. So we are going to pick our brush tool, then we'll make sure our foreground color is white and our background color is black, then hit OK. We can start painting on the hair because just like the light is on the hair and beside and behind, so you can see light spread everywhere. Let's take our opacity to like 14 and flow to 14 also. Then we'll start painting on the hair area. Let's paint on the tip Let's just assume like the light is falling from the top and beside and behind. So let's continue, and we are painting the hair. So let's assume that we are painting like half of the hair, assuming the rest part of the hair is in front of the image. So the light is not coming from the front. Let's just take it this way. You know that our color can be changed anytime, but double click on this box and you can see that it's having eyedropper to take it to any color you wish, and click it on it, and you can see that is matching. Okay, so have it like this. Let's take this like this and hit OK. Then after then we can go back to our brush tool, then make sure our foreground color is white and background color is black. Then we'll continue painting. Let's select the layer mask and continue painting. So we are going to be painting like from the side. We are going to paint the side of the image. So we are going to paint the side like so. Let's assume the backlights are falling on the sides also. So we'll have to take them like so. So this area, like this area is still to be considered to be the side, because it's going to reflect on this area. So this guy is still considered as from the side because it's still going to cast on it. Then the hand is the same thing applied to the hand. Let's zoom in and make sure this white edge is properly connected. So as you can see, we have the light by the side there. Let's add it to this area also. We can increase our opacity and flow a bit, like 28 and 26 should be okay. Let's continue. So you can see that everything that I'm painting is just on the image. It's not affecting the background. So let's go. You can increase the size here and spread it out like this, so that it's going to have a nice transition. So it can affect the leg in a way. Let's add a little to this leg. I think this area should have some of this. Then here also. Then here should have it also. So we'll have to create a transition there. So the color here should have from this area also, because the light should be coming from the side. I think we should be okay with this. Let's go to the layer style box, and we have to double click this and bring out the layer style box. You can check the hair. Let's move the dark slider of the underlying layer forward to separate the dark from the light. Okay, so I think we are okay with this, like so. So we have to separate the dark, then hold our Alt to split this angle apart to spread it a bit like so. So this is going to make we have our shadows back, separate the shadows from the light. So we can hit OK. So we are going to add shine to show that the light is reflecting on the hair. We can click on the cutout image, then go to the adjustment layer and choose curves. Then we are going to pull the highlights up like so. We can close this. Let's zoom in, double click on the curve to bring out the layer style box. This dark slider of the underlying layer, we can push it forward. So we are going to separate the light from the dark so that to have it shining. So I think we are okay with it like this. You are going to hold your Alt and click on the angle to split it apart. Take it forward a bit. I think it should be okay like this. then you hit OK. Click on the layer mask and use your Ctrl I to invert the layer mask. Pick your brush tool, make sure the foreground color is white and the background color is black, and you can paint the top side of the hair. Paint on the top side of the hair. You can increase opacity and increase your flow also. Then you can paint on that area of the hair. Can paint to the tip to show the light that is coming from behind. So if you take a look at it now, you can see that the stuff is looking natural. It's looking like natural light casted on the image. Let's go in there. Okay, there's this shadow that is not there. We have to click on the main shadow and take our brush to make sure the foreground color is black. Let's sample from here, dark red. Then we can drag to draw a shadow here and add a shadow here. I think it's okay because of this leg. I just noticed it, so we can go back. So if you take a look at this now, it's looking natural. So you can see the light around reflecting on the hair and the ground. So we have to add something like Vignette to this image. Select the top layer, click on this plus to add an empty layer on top. Go to your foreground color, make sure it is black, complete black, then hit OK. Then take your paint bucket, this gradient or paint bucket. You will see paint bucket here. Select paint bucket. Then you can, with that empty layer selected, let's click on this. Select the layer, go to your rectangular marquee tool, right click it and choose elliptical marquee tool. Then you can drag around to get this stuff like this. Then you can position it in the middle. Then you right click and feather with 300 and hit OK. Then you push your delete once or twice. So this is what you have. Use your Ctrl D to deselect. Then you can go to your opacity or fill to reduce this. There's one thing we have to do to this image, which is the background. We have to select this background and go to our rectangular marquee tool and drag around to stop somewhere here. We are going to blur out this background a bit so that it's not going to be sharper than the image. So we have to right click and feather with 300. Hit OK. Make sure the background is selected. Go to filter, blur, then to Gaussian blur. You can take the radius from 0.1 to your liking. At least like I think let's say 7.2 should be okay, and we can click OK. Let's use our Ctrl D to deselect. Then if you take a look now, it's looking more natural. So let's rename this to be light effects. Let's rename this to be shine. Let's rename this to be darken. I think it's well organized now. Let's hold down our Alt and click on this eye icon to see the before and after. Let's say this is before and this is after. This is before and this is after. Isn't that amazing? That is a very simple way you can change your background in Adobe Photoshop, and it's going to be looking professional and natural. I believe that's it for today. If you find it interesting, helpful and useful, let us know in the comment section, telling us the area it has helped, the area it has not, and the area we need to improve on. Like I said earlier, if you are new on this channel, please do me a favor. Do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Not just hitting that subscribe button, also ring that notification bell so that I don't miss any of the next video. Thanks for watching this video. Creative Pro, keep on creating. Keep on creating. See you in the next one. Bye for now.